Okay, morning everyone. So there's been quite a few questions whether or not I can do a video on the US government shutdown and what the implications of that are. I was going to do that anyway, of course, because that's one of the critical bits of news flow and sort of noise. And I say noise, and I'll explain that why I say that in a minute, going around the market. So US government shutdowns, they come around almost on an annual basis in my experience. I think I've gone through, I don't know, at least 10 of them in the last 15 years, probably more. It's probably more like one a year, to be honest with you. It's a ridiculous, noisy, mildly embarrassing, but nonetheless just the way it is in terms of the way the US government works. And when they can't reach bipartisan agreement on, usually on spending, in fact 99% of the time it's on spending, they threaten to shut down the government, and sometimes it is even shut down for 24 hours or whatever it may be. But the stock market could not care less. Back in the day, the stock market cares less and less and less, in case you haven't noticed, about anything, right? Back in the day, the stock market would have cared and been a bit volatile, and then they would have, obviously, they restarted the government, because that's what they do. They can't shut it down for very long, so it's just a bunch of political noise. But the stock market used to be a bit volatile. Now the stock market just completely ignores it, which is what's going on in loads of things, right? The market has been, every time the market tries to sell a political event or geopolitical event or even an economic event, there's always something that comes to rescue the market, whether it's dip buyers, AI, central banks, whatever it may be. So that's why the market dynamics have changed so dramatically over the last decade. And I have sent a video out on that, and I will keep going on about it because it's fascinating. Nonetheless, what am I doing into today on the back of a potential US government shutdown? Almost nothing. Gold has rallied yet again overnight. Now, if you saw my stuff yesterday on gold, you'd understand that I think it's ridiculously overbought, ridiculously hyped. I mean, listen, there's lots of reasons to be long gold. We all understand what they are. Potential inflation spike, most importantly, the US government balance sheet and fiscal issues, and now, of course, a potential US government shutdown. Pick any excuse you want, all right? It's a momentum trade, and everyone's obsessed with it, and the retail universe asks me questions about it every single day. Personally, I'm actually going to sell some gold today because it's trading on an RSI now of 81, and which to me is very overbought technically. In fact, not just to me, as a fact. So, what do you do in terms of trading your book? You know that I'm already short QQQ, and I'm very, very wary on the market in general. So I'm going to keep that. Obviously, if we do have a prolonged government shutdown, or this does, for some strange reason, turn into a bigger thing, which is very unlikely, then of course being short the index will be a smart thing to do, because the market will come off if, of course, this doesn't turn into a routine government shutdown. So there isn't really much way. So to answer the question of how do you play the US government shutdown, there really isn't much way to do it. I won't be doing anything different to what I've already got on, right? Which is my big QQQ short, my Palantir short, my quantum shorts, which are all working, by the way. My quantum stocks are down 9% since I sold them, just so you know. And I'm mainly speaking to the people who responded to me by saying you're going to lose a lot of money shorting quantum stocks, and I just want to be clear on that, right? I was long quantum stocks for the last 6 months, sold them. Now they're massively overbought, and every single person in the world is asking questions about them and wanting to be long. That is alarm bells ringing for a professional. And not to mention the fact that it's technically massively overbought. So as a trade, a short-term trade, it might turn into more, but I am short quantum stocks, right? I expect at least another 10% downside. So got that, got the Palantir, got the QQQ. So if the market comes off, I'm safe as houses. If the market goes up, it's not going to go up very far, because we're at the stage now where so much is priced in. I feel very confident about that. Under the hood, there are stocks that I like, Viking Therapeutics and Novo and Orsted and Moderna. These stocks which are completely off-piste for most people, beaten up stocks with lots of bad news priced into them, that are just sitting here, and I feel very comfortable being long those stocks, right? The stocks that I'm long in my book are stocks that no one loves in the world, which is the opposite to the sort of retail universe and the rest of the world. The rest of the world are long exactly the same stocks. I get asked questions every single day about all of these, and if you look at the charts for the stocks that I get asked questions on, they're all up 500%, 600% in a straight line. Now that is alarm bells to me and to a professional. We all just sit in the coffee room laughing about it because we know that it's coming to an end soon, whilst everyone just keeps buying the same stuff over and over again. Now, it's not to say that these stocks might not kick on again at some point in the future, but right in the very near term, they're all very, very, very overbought. So anyway, I've got a small short in gold, which I put on this morning because it's technically overbought. And if the US government do what they normally do, which is talk a lot of crap and then shut it down maybe for 5 hours or 10 hours or not shut it down at all, and then that all gets reversed, and then in 3 days time we've forgotten about it and we move on, that's what happens 99% of the time. Nonetheless, gold is very overbought. And the rest of the book will remain exactly the same, and I'll do a trading book update a bit later on this morning. All the best, bye.